So we have Cass next, who I'm so thrilled to bring to you guys because she has an incredible manifestation story in terms of manifesting her job. And I think she's joining us from that job now today. So grateful that she's taken time out to be with us on her lunch break. So we are going to bring you on. I'm so excited. Um, so welcome. It's showing up as Olivia. Um,
Hi.
we'll call you Cass.
Yes.
So I'm so grateful that you're here with us today. And
Yes.
I would love to hear from you just where your life was at. Tell us a little bit about your story and why you signed up for Manifestation Masters.
Yeah. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you. You might
Okay.
want to talk a
Great.
little bit more into the mic, but we can totally
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. Yes. So, yeah. When I started, well, I've been following Jen for a few years now, and I was like, kind of waiting for the chance to work with her. I wasn't sure when, but then, after it was after the solstice ritual, I think that I listened to. I think I was you were doing it live, and after listening, I was like, "This is it. I'm doing it." Like there was no hesitation at all. And I think at that time, I mean, I didn't have a job. I was finishing my maternity leave, and I wasn't going to go back to the same job because it was a contract, and I really wanted to do something that corresponded to my qualifications and really like doing something of value. Yeah, I joined and I was so happy. I knew I needed that boost. I love the program. I could say a lot about it. Do you want me to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
anything
Tell
specifically?
people where you live and kind of because
Hmm. Yeah.
you just came back. You had just had your son, and so you were in this transitional phase of like, it's time to do something different now. I've taken this time off, which I think
Hmm.
everyone can relate to who's a mom.
Hmm.
What do I want to create next? So tell us a little bit more about, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I think in my life I've been quite indecisive about a lot of things. Like I'm always sort of like doing multiple projects, and then I always have like a day job to pay my bills. But I think with a child, like I kind of had to get more serious. Kind of got my butt into gear, which is great.
Yeah.
Kids do that. And so, but I wasn't really sure where to start. So, I mean, I've done like writing, podcasting. I really love like speaking, writing, being face to face with people, especially. But like my background was more like administrative, booking, stuff like that. So I wanted to do something like with people, and so I wasn't getting called. I wasn't getting like responses from jobs, which I was surprised because I have a good resume. And I ended up just finding something on Kijiji, actually working with like a university student with
Mm.
disabilities. And so I was like, I got to pay the bills, and I love school, so why not? So I was working with him, and well, what happened was his parents, who were my clients at the time, they have a company, it's a tech company, but they work in the field of environmental health and safety, and so I was working with my student, and then his situation kind of changed, and so they asked me like, "Do you want to work in the marketing team at our company and do writing for us?" And so I was like, "Okay, sure." And so this is how it happened, and so I'm really happy because like I really I really needed whatever I'm going to do in the future. I need marketing skills. And so just this opportunity to learn marketing and writing. I mean, it's technical writing. Um, so it's like scientific things. So it's not related to anything that I studied. But it's very funny though, because um, during your program, Jen, I don't think I told you this. I kept thinking about the jobs that I liked, and one of my favorite job of all time was working at an environmental museum. And so I kept thinking like environment, like I loved working in that field. But also writing was one of the things that I'd written down as well, because like, I mean, I am like, I do write and I'm a writer. And so it's just funny that like I end up working like in environment and writing.
Yeah.
And I got the job on the exact day that I'd written down in one of our activities. I'd written down Sunday, September 8th. It's a Sunday. It was September 8th in my head. I just wrote it down and I got a job. I got the job on that day.
I love this because, and we have another guest later who's going to share
Yeah.
a story about manifesting exactly her intention as well. This
Yeah.
stuff really works. What I teach in Manifestation Masters, I have you, there's advanced practices for manifesting, and I have you do an exercise where you're putting everything in your calendar as if it's happening and setting the dates, even though you're not sure how it's going to happen, but you're expecting that those things are going to happen on those dates. So your thing
Yeah.
was about the job, and you put just like randomly, but it's not randomly. It's an intuitive
Yeah.
process, right? That you wrote down September 8th, I'm getting the job, and that's exactly when you got the job. It's like
Yeah. And I
so
didn't,
for you.
and yeah, and just so people know, like I didn't, like I wrote that date down, but I wasn't like checking my calendar at all. It
Yeah.
was only like after that I was like, oh, I wrote that date down, because I would have never put a Sunday. Like, who gets a job on a Sunday?
Yeah.
But because it started, like, this is the thing what I really liked about the program, Jen, is that like like it's very creative. And I mean, I'm a creative person. I think probably most people that are attracted to you and the work you do are creative people. And so for me, it's like tapping into my visions and just doing a whole bunch of different activities that seem unrelated to what I want, but they really are. And so I think for me, just like the combination of the activities, having the Facebook group, and I don't like, I'm not a big Facebook person. Like, it says Olivia because I have like a fake account that I use for things, for things that I like, actually, like spiritual things, like things that are inspirational. I have my fake account. And so, yeah, like, so anyways, like the accountability on Facebook, that's really important, I feel, because you want to like be taking action, but also just like speaking it out loud, or like in writing and having people respond to you, even if you're not somebody that likes to post things. Just, I think it's that, just the act of doing it and kind of getting that. It's like an exchange of energy that kind of like propels you forward, I think.
Yeah.
It was helpful for me. And then the coaching calls, we could bring up, questions. Yeah, the tapping helped. The other thing that was great too, I finally did my driving license, and I passed. And so I was really happy. So all these things that like for me were big things that I needed to do, but I was kind of like stalling because I didn't like, I never really needed to have a driver's license. Where I live is not like, you don't really need one. I mean, of
Where
course
you
it's
live?
helpful.
Where you live?
So yeah, I didn't mention I'm in Montreal. Montreal, yeah, I'm in Canada, so it's a great city. So I would bike everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
So now that I have a child, like I kind of have to get serious about things a little bit. So I can't bike as much. But yeah, I think like just even in like doing my driving test and like passing and doing well, like this is something that I was also very scared about. And like I applied some of the techniques that you gave in your like in the program to this thing that kind of made me feel nervous. So yeah, I'm like, it's like been a great investment, so I totally encourage people to invest in it. And I think for me the thing is that like like I really like your work, Jen. So for me, like I've done other programs before, but they haven't really helped me. So and I've actually liked the people, of course, but I think like just yeah, I feel very connected to like your message and the things that you share and have to say. And I just really needed it at that time. And I mean, I'm still using some of the techniques that you gave me. So yeah, I'm
That's
really happy.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
I love that. And
yeah,
that means a lot that you took a bunch of other programs before, even with people who you liked, but nothing changed. And I think that's a fear that people have, especially if they've taken online programs before.
yeah.
But this program was different. Why would you say that? Like, is it, I mean, it's obviously my energy and you like my work, but do you
Hmm.
feel like it was part of the structure, and the way that the program's set up?
Yeah.
What's the difference for you?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah, for sure it was the structure. It was that it was like every day was really helpful. Like,
Hmm.
because I'm the type of person that, like, if I don't do something often enough, like, I just won't do it. Like, with like dancing training, I have to dance like every day, or else, like, a dance class once a week is not going to help me.
Right.
Like, that's the type of, uh, I don't know, that's how I work. So I think for me, like the 40-day structure was useful because I know like every day for 40 days, I have a task and I'm
Yeah.
going to do it. And there's accountability, but it's not like it, but it's important to know that it wasn't, there was no pressure either. It's like, oh, if because life happens, sometimes you get behind. But I think just knowing that every day you have a task
Yeah.
that you like, that's fun,
Yeah.
and you can share it with people, right? At the end of the day, I think that was helpful, and it's fun, it's varied, right? Like sometimes, like it's like it's not just like doing like vision boards. It's actually going out and doing certain things. So I like variety. I
Yeah.
thrive off of variety, and it has to be fun. And then you also mix like interviews with people. So yeah, I really like the sort of like the variety of things to do that were fun, and yeah, and the themes as well. Like there's like
Yeah.
one week is this, the second week. So yeah, very
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
love what you said about getting you into action, because it's about like you can actually manifest your dream now. I think even like hearing Rachel's story and then your story about like I put the date in my calendar and I manifested that job on the date, and I was
Hmm.
afraid to get my driver's license for years, and I got it because the program, like, it pushed you in a beautiful way into things that you've been wanting to do but were scared to do,
Hmm.
because of the action, and then it happened like that. So I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so awesome. And now you're supporting your son and you're like in the field that you want to be in and with amazing
Hmm.
people you're working with. So
Yeah. And I think this
great.
is like the thing too that I want to emphasize. It's like this is only like a small part of what I want. It's like the beginning, and that's exactly why I decided to start the program, was because I had been doing the same thing, like actually just in not being consistent. Like I was doing a lot, but like I needed to start somewhere. And I think your program
Yeah.
helped me start. And so I have like a framework that I'm slowly
Yeah.
building. And for me, like 2020 is still like I have like a foundation that I started, and I
Yeah.
have to work on constructing that because there's so much that that I want to do. Um, so I'm still like, it's like baby steps, but like, yeah,
I love that. You have the
yeah,
foundation and now you can
yeah,
continue. You have the resources, you have all of those tools. So even like as Rachel shared, like it kind of builds upon each other and you keep going
mm-hmm,
back to it.
mm-hmm,
So I love that. We're never finished. As you manifest one thing, there's going to be something else that you want. So
yeah,
love that. I'm so grateful for you,
yeah.
Kat, for being with us today. Any last words if someone's thinking about signing up for Manifestation Masters that you want to share?
Well, I would just say, like, follow your intuition, and also like ask questions about like, ask questions about the program. And also, I think the first thing is also to like find out what it is you need, what you're looking for. Because
Hmm.
I think in the past, like, I've kind of like been a bit impulsive with things, like, oh, I need this, so I'm just gonna like get this, like, I can be like a junkie for like self-help stuff. Not that this is self-help, but like anything that I feel like, will help me grow as a person. I can be very quick to jump on it without actually like saying like, is this what I need?
Yeah.
Like, what is it that I need? So I think the first thing would be like asking yourself, what do I need? Is this going to help me move towards my goal in a way that's doable for me?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because for me, the daily activities, that really was helpful for me. But maybe for somebody else, that's not their thing. But I think the important thing to emphasize, though, is that, like, again, like with the daily activities, you don't, like, if you miss them, it's okay, right? But for sure, like, I would say everybody needs to do something daily, because if you study like anybody that's successful, like they have daily things that they do, they have routines. And so yeah, I think that I think it would be helpful for anybody, for
Yeah.
everybody, basically. Yeah.
No,
So
I love that. You
yeah,
kind of asking yourself, like, what is it that I need, as someone who had done a lot of self-help programs and was still stuck, and that this one was the one that actually made the difference because of the daily
yeah,
activity. I think
because I'm somebody that, like, I think a lot.
yeah,
I think a lot, and so it's kind of like, it's more like getting into like, okay, like you can be creative, but you have to do. You can
yes,
have ideas and concepts, but you have to like do something towards them.
yeah, I love that. Awesome. It's all
Yeah,
about doing and going for it. Yeah, and
yeah,
being now.
definitely.
It's
Yeah,
that your actions now that have the effect that you want in your life. So,
yeah,
yay, Cass. Thank you
yes.
so much for being with us and
Uh,
sharing your story. I think it's really helpful for people to hear, especially, you know, the other maybe new moms who are on mat leave, or people who are in that place where you were at before you signed up, kind of spinning wheels. And the fact that you're able to manifest a job position, you know, on that date. And it's just a beautiful story. So thank you for being with us today.
no, thank you.